What's up, guys or girls? Welcome back or welcome to the Bankroll Builder Challenge series that we're doing. This is episode 7. Last episode we left off with, I believe, just about $102 in the bankroll. Yesterday I played a session, an 8-hour session, really long session, and I think we only added about $7 or $8 to the bankroll once it was all said and done. Within the first hour and a half, I think we were up 15, and then just some bad bluffs got called and things like this. So we're going to go over those hands. For anyone new to the channel, just to give you a little bit of information on what we're doing here, we're playing on a site called Ignition. We're playing poker. We're playing 9 max, no limit hold'em, $5 buy-in, 2 cent, 5 cent blinds, and we're going to stay at this level until we have 30 buy-ins for the next level, which is $10. So once we have $300, we'll move up to the next level, and we're going to continue this process on this site for the next 9 months or so until and just see how high we could get in the stakes. I think the highest blind levels are $10, $20. So if we make it there, that's great. That means that we have $60,000 in the bankroll, and we got about 9 months to do it. So just follow along, and I'll keep playing and posting sessions. And right now we're going to get into a little bit of analysis for this session that I had yesterday. All right. Okay, guys. So first relevant hand that we get involved with here, we have 9-7 of hearts on the button, under the gun, head raised 3x, and we call in position here. So obviously, under the gun, his range there is pretty solid range. He has a lot of overpairs to this board. He has ace kings, king queen suited, ace queen suited, ace jack suited, connected Broadway in his range here, and obviously overpairs. So we raise here to kind of see where we're at in the hand. I like either a fold or a call here. I mean, it's really I could go either way. Probably a fold would be better in that spot, because we kind of put in that raise to see where we're at, and he kind of told us. But we decided to see a turn. He puts us in half pot, and we call him down. We end up rivering another 9. So if he does have an overpair, we're just going to get a little bit of extra value here. He's obviously going to be putting us on the 9 there. And he calls, so obviously he must have had an overpair, and we kind of sucked out on him there. I'm not too happy with that play, actually. That was misplayed for sure. Here we pick up pocket kings. We are under the gun plus 2. Under the gun makes it 3x, so we come over to the top of him with 60 cents. Small blind ships it on us, and under the gun is going to fold, and we will obviously be calling with our kings. Here we go, we put in the call. He did that with ace king, and we fade the aces. We take that pot down. Next relevant hand, we have pocket jacks, and we are in the big blind. The cutoff's going to pretty much 3x, and he gets a call on the button. So we're out of position here. We're just gonna flat. So the flop comes out. We got to overpair to the board. So we'll put a bet in here just at pot, because there's a lot of cards that can come out that we don't want to see. We get raised here. So people would raise here with 9 in their hand. If he has ace 10, he raises. Obviously, if he has queens, kings, aces, 10s. Well, actually, I don't think he would raise a set. If he had a set, I think he's just going to flat here and try to get 9 to come along. So more than likely, I would think he has 9s or an overpair. But who knows? We're just going to get it all in here and see what happens. So he actually did this with 10-8 off, which is weird. We get lucky on the river and make a set. Here we have 8-7 suited in the big blind. It was a limped pot, so we charge 7x to go, and we flop an open ender. So we're going to continue here. We don't want to size too big. We want to give him room to call and for us to make moves on him if we don't hit our hand. You commit too much of his stack and you don't make your hand, then he's calling you anyway. But obviously here we have the nuts, so the third nuts. So we just get all his chips here. So pretty fortunate for us. He was probably steaming off that 10-8 hand. Yeah, he called us with king 6. So I think he just made a pair of 6s on the river. So pretty strange play by him. Here we pick up kings on the button. I switch it up a little bit here. I don't want to completely expose my my hand strength. I'm going to play this one a little sneaky. Can never put me on a top set here with me calling on the button, just flatting. And it gives you opportunities to really get extra value from your hands when you make them. Obviously, I don't do this all the time, but I like to mix it in sometimes, just play things sneaky. We'll put in a min raise here probably, just to make it look like we're playing back at him from our position, and hopefully, obviously it's a great scenario if he has pocket 6s, 5s, or aces, but regardless, we wanted to make it look like we're just making moves with our position. So check comes back in, straight draw comes in. I don't think he has many 8s in his hand. He was the raiser pre-flop. More likely jacks, queens, ace jack, ace queen, jack queen, king. Well, king queen's unlikely, king ace is unlikely. But I could see him having a pair of 10s here, a pair of jacks, things like this. So we put in a bet here. Now there's 4 to a straight. If he does have jacks or ace queen or something, it's going to be very easy for him to turn it into a bluff here with the 4 cards straight. But obviously if he has an 8, he'll also be betting it. So this is a good bluff card for anyone, which is why we call it down. Unfortunately, he did have an 8 and he gets there, so that kind of stinks, but it happens. So here we pick up ace king. We make it 4x from under the gun +1. Good flop for us, top. Now there's no draws at all on this board. I guess there's gut shots, right? So like 10 jack, jack queen, 10 queen, but there's no flush draws. There's no real straight draws. So me putting in 25 cents here and then getting raised this much is kind of scary on this board because lots of 2 pairs do that, sets do that. Like there was no draw, If there's at least a draw, you could put someone on draw. So I'm a little wary of sets here. Maybe set of 2, set of 9s. Obviously, if he had king 9, 9, 2, we're now beating that. So we have very strong showdown. So we check it on the turn and it checks around. So we feel pretty good about our hand now. We kind of discount the 9s from his range and pocket deuces from his range now. So we're going to go for value here, hoping he has like king 9 or 9 deuce, or maybe just a strong king like king queen. So we put a $2 value bet in here into the pot. It's $363. I would imagine we're getting called by king 9, 9 deuce, but also hands like king 9 I would think would have continued betting on the turn, and with the amount of time he's taking to make the call, I decide that he probably has something like king queen or king jack. He does decide on the call, and we take that one down. So here we pick up jack 10. And we're going to get involved in another hand with player 9. Player 9 was the one that had the 10-8 of clubs and rivered the straight on our set of kings. So we have 10 jack of clubs in the cutoff. He raises 4x, and we're going to call him. It's a decent hand in good position. So pocket 5, sorry, 2 5s on the flop, and we flop top pair with a decent kicker. Now player 9 I've played with quite a few times. His name is Patrick. He knows my playstyle and I know his. So no real reason to bet there on the turn. I don't think you're getting called by worse if he has like any overpair. So he has aces there, and I think we lose minimum, because if if we raised that flop and tried to play it strong, we would have lost a lot of money. So here we're coming into this a little bit late. I don't quite remember what the pre-flop action was. Actually, I do. The button raised 4x and we both call. So we're gonna plan on a check raise here. We have 2 overs and the second nut flush draw. So we're checking, waiting for his C bet, and then we're gonna put in a raise with some equity here. Lots of good cards for us that can come out. Obviously, a 9 is good, a king is good, hearts are good. So we put in our check raise here. We're gonna make it make it 80 cents. We did that sizing so that 4 could come over the top, and if 9 calls, then betting is open again for us. Like, we can then put in a raise and then get it all in with 9. So that's why we sized it to 80 cents. Just stuff you have to be aware of and plan for just in case scenarios. So with that raise, he calls, and now we put in another good sized bet when the board pairs. Just in case we don't get there, we can sell full houses to him. He was the raiser, so I don't really put him on a 5. He raised pre-flop, and with our check raise there on the flop, I think we can have sets there. We can obviously have a 5. So now that we missed everything, we're gonna bluff at this. Unfortunately, he had king 6 of clubs. He turned a flush draw, and he had an open-ended straight draw on the flop. So he takes that one down. We lose a pretty big pot. Here we have 10-7 of diamonds. I believe we opened this pre-flop, maybe steaming a little bit, not sure. We put in a continuation bet about half pot and get raised. Lots of people do this in position just to take the pot down if you're messing around, which obviously I was messing around, but I don't like to just give up. So I call 1, then we turn a flush draw, and his bet size is so large, I kind of think he's full of crap. And I don't mind getting it in because we also have a flush draw, and I think that he would maybe just fold here if he was messing around. Unfortunately, he was playing his hand face up. He had a king, and we miss our flush draw, and we lose that one as well. So not a great play on our part. Maybe we were just steaming off of the last couple of hands that we had lost and that bad bluff we ran. I don't know. Sometimes we just play bad. So here we are. I made it 4x pre. Small blind comes along, and under the gun +1 comes along as well. We have 2 overs to this board, and we also have a flush draw. Small blind open shoves, and we call. He's been doing some funky stuff, and king high might even be good here. So like I said, funky things. We get lucky with the run out. We end up splitting that pot with him, but just so strange, playing with people at this level. Like, there's good players, and then there's players that just make no sense at all. So it's really hard to decide what the right plays are. Like, player 1 just shipped his whole stack with ace high, no back doors, for 50 cents or 60 cents or something. It's crazy. Anyway, we're under the gun +2 here. Under the gun had raised to 10 cents. We make it 30 cents, and we get 2 callers behind, small blind, and also middle position, or under the gun +2. So here we are, four-way to the flop, and we flop a flush draw. With these 3 overcards and this many people in a raised pot, I'm just going to check. I'd be happy to call a bet here, but I'm not going to put one in and then risk getting raised. So now we have 4 cards to a straight. This is a great card for us. It gives us the flush, and anyone with a jack will definitely be calling. Anyone with a ace of spades will be calling, king of spades. Just a really good card. Obviously, it's not a good card if someone has a better flush, but that's pretty unlikely. And we're going to be targeting anyone with a jack in their hand here with this bet sizing. So with that call, we can pretty much put him on the jack and have him now make a decision for the remainder of his stack. If he does have the jack, maybe we just had the ace of spades and we were messing around. So he does call. I assume he had the straight, and we take it down with the flush. Here we flop a nut flush draw. He bets pot, we call. This is the same guy that shipped with ace 4 earlier. Turns a dud for us. but he checks. So now we're gonna rep the king. Maybe we had 10 jack. It's kind of a scary board if he has something like 9-10 or queen 10 or queen jack. And then also if we do get called, it's not the worst thing because obviously we still have the nut flush draw. Put in a good size bet here, 60 cents, a little bit over half pot. This will give him enough fold equity. So he raises us. We're going to flat. We don't see, it just seems kind of weird to us, that play, for him to check and then raise. So we call them and we miss here. So we'll just put it all in. If he has queen jack, queen 10, 9-10, 9 jack, he has to fold. So he did fold and we took that one down. Then we got disconnected and we had to sit back down with $5. So you can see the playable balance went up, but our stack size went down because we had to come back in and buy in for only $5. So this was a limped pot, and we put in a squeeze here with the 8-9, and we got 2 callers behind. So now the pot's 83 cents. We have 2 overs. We have a backdoor flush draw, and we also have a gut shot to the nut straight, as long as it's not a diamond. So we put in a C bet here. We're going to continue with our strength that we're selling. We're the pre-flop raisers in pretty bad position, so we could easily have like pocket aces through jacks, 10s, all this stuff. Put in another bet here. We get raised, and just being a little sticky here. We call. This is just a bad play. I mean, I really can't even justify what we're doing here. Definitely just looks like we missed a draw, and this was just a very poorly played hand, but that's the reason I wanted to include it, just to show, I do make mistakes. And he comes over the top, there's nothing we can do. We add on and fold. So just the worst played hand, I believe, of the session, so that's why I wanted to include it. So here we had the hijack had raised to 20 cents, and then the small blind came over the top to 50 cents. We called, and we flopped pretty much the joint. We want 3 to come along as well, so we're just going to flat here. But he folds. Pretty good card for us. If he has a king of spades in his hand, if he had 2 spades in his hand, if he has an ace, I mean, this is just a pretty good situation. So we're going to go ahead and try to get some more money into the pot here. So we just bump it up to $1.50, get him to commit some of his stack here. Board pairs out again. I don't see really any 8s in his range. The only thing he's beating us with, I think, would be pocket aces, but he'd bet way more than this. He bets the 53 cents, and we're going to put in a good size raise here. Oh, I'm sorry, we went all in. So we go all in for $1, what is that, $1.99? $1.99 more to him. So it's $1.99 to win $8.50. Hoping he has a strong ace, but I mean, with this play, we're just obviously so strong. And I believe that he folds here. So yeah, there he goes. He folds. We take that one down. So next relevant hand we have here, we have Ace-10 of hearts. We are in middle position and we raise it up 5x. Flop is pretty good for us. We got 2 overs. We got the nut flush draw. This guy bets 45 cents into us. Obviously we're going to come along. 6 goes all in. One puts in 5 cents. Should have just been a call here with the side pot being so small. I think I wanted to make the side pot a little bit bigger in case we hit our hand. So he checks back here, and we decided to check back too. We were going to put in a bluff, but then we decided that's probably a bad idea, and we just check back. There's really not a lot that we're beating, and we're probably getting called by any type of pairs, like if he has a 5 or a 9 or obviously a 4. So we just give up, and he had pocket 10, so he's going to take it down. Next relevant hand, we have 5-8 of spades. I think this is the last hand that we play, actually, because 11:45 is when we ended the session. So we flop a flush draw, backdoor straight draw. He bets pot into us. We're going to call. So now we pick up a gut shot as well. So an additional 3 outs plus our 8, so 11 outs. He puts $1.70 in, leaving himself not too much behind. And he has no fold equity, so we'll just call. And we miss everything. I think he bets like 5 cents, and we just are curious, so obviously we call, and he flopped top 2. And that's it. That's the end of the session. We ended up, I think, only adding like $7 to the bankroll. So that's that. All right, guys, so the bankroll's up to 109.56. Probably going to put in a little bit of a session tonight, and maybe play a little bit tomorrow too. So look for another episode Wednesday night or maybe Thursday morning. And thanks for joining us. If you like the videos, obviously subscribe, and you guys will just be able to follow us along here. All right, we'll see you on next video. Have a good night.